At the heart of this legal storm is a dangerous question: who gets to control the narrative? When powerful celebrities like Blake Lively and massive legal teams attempt to silence independent voices through intimidation, subpoenas, and public smears, they're not just protecting their reputations, they're attacking the foundation of a free and open press. This isn't about one lawsuit or a petty celebrity feud anymore. It's about whether truth can survive in a system where wealth and status can weaponize the courts against anyone who dares to ask questions. We've reached a turning point. Independent journalists, commentators, and creators are now on the front lines of truth-telling, and unlike traditional outlets protected by corporate legal teams, we often stand alone. That's why this moment matters. Because if we allow this kind of bullying to go unchecked, it won't stop with Andy Sr. or Paris Hilton or Candace Owens. It will reach every corner of independent media. And soon no one will feel safe reporting on what really happens behind the scenes. But despite all this, I remain hopeful. Because when the powerful try to silence us, it means one thing: we're getting closer to something they don't want exposed. We're not here to play favorites. We're not here to protect reputations. We're here to uncover the truth and tell the stories that matter, no matter how uncomfortable they are. So to those watching, stand with independent voices, stand with transparency, stand with the idea that no one, not even the rich and famous, should be able to buy silence. Because when creators, journalists, and audiences unite, no amount of power can stop the truth from getting out, and that's exactly what they're afraid of. Blake Lively has dragged content creators into this mess as well, which I find so disgusting. I was watching Andy Sr. live yesterday where he was showing off his subpoena. He's one of the three who has been subpoenaed. The others are Paris Hilton and Candace Owens. He has a very successful YouTube channel and has been following this legal feud like the rest of us, like the rest of the media. Blake Lively's team is fighting to get all correspondence that these creators had with people who've been tipping them off. They want to see all their sources. This is just insane. As Andy said, they are never going to get it. He will protect his sources no matter what, even though fighting a subpoena in court is expensive and difficult. You have to hire a lawyer and stand your ground. I refuse to share my sources. That's part of journalistic integrity. I would do the same. I would never give up my sources. And the crazy thing in all of this is what Andy said he received: a press release from the Wayfair parties after Justin Baldoni's lawsuit was dismissed. He published it on his YouTube channel, the same one that TMZ published. Obviously, both received it from Brian Friedman. Journalists are supposed to be in touch with all parties, including Blake Lively's team. That's literally our job. But they're going after content creators because they're independent, and it's costly for us to defend ourselves. This is a fear tactic. What they're trying to do is suppress the free press. The message is, you can't protect your sources because I'm Blake Lively, I'm famous, and I deserve to know. But when Justin Baldoni sued the New York Times, the paper refused to give anything up, citing journalist privilege, same as what these creators are invoking. Andy has been working on a documentary and speaking to people who were on the set. One of them didn't even dare to show their face. You cannot reveal whistleblowers' identities, not if you want to maintain credibility and protect those who came forward. That would be a total betrayal. Also, remember Steve Sarowitz, the guy bankrolling Justin Baldoni's lawsuit, and a Wayfair studio partner? A man came to his house, set fire to something, and threatened to kidnap his daughter. That man said he'd been watching the media drama with Blake Lively and demanded $80,000. He was arrested, thankfully, but this is the consequence of what's happening. I've personally received threats to people saying they'd burn down my apartment. The Daily Mail reported in May that Wayfair team members and their publicists were getting threats as well. One had to build a gate around her home to protect her children. Blake Lively's court filings allegedly doxed real addresses, which then spread on social media. This puts people in danger. This is exactly why they want creators' source emails, so they can possibly dox and intimidate the people who tipped them. That's the real goal, to scare people from speaking up. I'm confident that neither Andy, Candace Owens, nor Paris Hilton will ever give up their sources. But this still causes immense stress and legal costs. I've experienced it myself. When I was dragged into that New York Times article, I had to keep defending myself. It's exhausting. And now Blake Lively's team is filing a bunch of new documents right before a holiday. They did this before Christmas too, filing complaints when the courts are closed so the other side has no time to respond. Classic move. They're now saying they got critical video evidence and need time to review it. They've requested 50,000 hours of footage from Justin Baldoni's team. That's likely just B-roll and behind-the-scenes material. It's a tactic to stall and exhaust the other party. Blake's team claims they've handed over 21,000 pages and only got a few back, and that they're struggling to schedule depositions with Melissa Nathan and Jennifer L. So now they're pushing to move the fact discovery deadline from August 15th to September 30th, asking for 6 more weeks. It's another delay tactic, and it's all part of overwhelming Baldoni's side. With legal bills, they've even agreed to 20 depositions, each twice the normal number. Let's see what the judge decides. The unfolding situation surrounding Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and a growing list of independent content creators is not only alarming, it's deeply troubling for anyone who values free speech, press freedom, and journalistic integrity. What we are witnessing is not just a legal battle between two public figures. It's a dangerous game of intimidation being played at the expense of smaller independent voices, and it threatens to reshape how information is shared in the digital age. Let's begin with the facts. Blake Lively's legal team has subpoenaed 3 major figures in the commentary and media space: Andy Sr., Candace Owens, and Paris Hilton. These individuals are not random internet personalities. They are seasoned content creators and commentators who have built platforms discussing pop culture, politics, and media scandals. Andy, for example, runs the YouTube channel Popcorn Planet, where he has closely followed the legal dispute between Lively and Baldoni. His work mirrors what any mainstream media outlet might do. He reviews documents, reaches out to parties for comment, and investigates behind-the-scenes claims. But now Lively's team is demanding that these creators hand over all correspondence they've had with their sources, essentially anyone who tipped them off about developments in the case. This isn't a minor request, it's a calculated legal maneuver designed to intimidate. By asking for the names and messages from sources, Lively's legal team is not just prying into the communications of independent journalists, they're potentially doxing whistleblowers, employees, and industry insiders who believed they were providing information in confidence. If this strategy succeeds, it sends a chilling message to anyone thinking of speaking out against powerful Hollywood figures: you are not safe. Andy Sr. has made it very clear that he will not comply with this demand. He said publicly that he is prepared to go to court to fight the subpoena and protect his sources. And let's be honest, this will cost him. Legal battles are expensive, especially for independents who don't have the legal war chests of celebrities and their high-powered legal teams. But he's willing to take the hit because the principle is more important than the price. He's standing up not just for himself, but for everyone who contributes to a free and independent press. I want to make it clear, I would do the exact same thing. I would never betray the people who trusted me with sensitive information, especially not under pressure from a public figure using their power to silence criticism. What Blake Lively's team is doing isn't just an overstep, it's an outright abuse of privilege. They're leveraging fame, wealth, and legal resources to bully creators into submission. And while that may have worked in another era, this time, people are fighting back. One of the more shocking revelations is how this crackdown is being spun. According to Andy and others who've spoken out, much of what's being targeted includes press releases and official statements sent to journalists, the exact same ones sent to mainstream outlets like TMZ. In fact, Andy reported receiving a statement from the Wayfair parties after Baldoni's lawsuit was dismissed, which he then published. TMZ published the same statement. So why is he being targeted and not them? The difference is obvious. Independent creators don't have corporate legal shields. They're easier to scare, easier to drain financially, and easier to silence if you apply enough pressure. That's the point. This isn't about justice or truth, it's about control. It's about dictating who gets to tell the story and whose voices are deemed credible. The tactic is clear: make an example of a few creators so others think twice before covering controversial stories, and sadly it's working in some circles. Some creators are going silent, some are stepping back afraid of legal repercussions. And who can blame them? The stakes are high the moment creators become legal targets simply for doing journalism. The line between press and propaganda begins to blur. But let's look even deeper. Blake Lively's legal team isn't just demanding email records, they're creating a dangerous precedent. They're asking courts to dismantle the fundamental right to protect sources. In journalism, this protection is sacred. It's what allows whistleblowers, employees, and insiders to come forward without fear of reprisal. If this right disappears for creators like Andy, it disappears for everyone. Next time it won't be Hollywood. It could be politics, tech, education, anywhere someone wants to cover up wrongdoing. What's most chilling about this is the potential for escalation, and we're already seeing it. Consider the terrifying story involving Steve Sarowitz, a partner at Wayfair Studios and a backer of Justin Baldoni's legal case. A man allegedly radicalized by the media circus surrounding this feud came to his house and set fire to a trash can. He even threatened to kidnap Sarowitz's daughter. The man claimed he'd been following the drama and demanded $80,000 in cash, believing Sarowitz could afford it since he was funding Baldoni. Let that sink in. This man believed the media narrative enough to justify arson and a kidnapping threat. Thankfully, he was caught, but the damage is done, and that's not the only instance. Several publicists associated with the Wayfair team have reportedly been harassed and threatened. One was forced to build a security gate around their home to protect their children. And where are these threats coming from? Some of them, according to reports, stem from court filings that allegedly exposed personal home addresses. This is dangerous and inexcusable. When legal filings become tools for harassment, it crosses every ethical and moral line imaginable. Even I've received threats during this ordeal. At one point, someone emailed me threatening to burn down my apartment. Others have sent horrifying messages intended to scare me into silence. And I'm not alone. Many creators have been targeted in similar ways. This isn't just about lawsuits, it's about silencing dissent through fear. And unfortunately, when powerful legal teams amplify that fear by weaponizing subpoenas, the damage compounds. We're also seeing a digital assault on reputations. My own Wikipedia page was hacked repeatedly. One side edited it to make me look like a corrupt journalist, the other tried to correct it. It became a battleground for narrative control. This is yet another way the powerful attempt to silence voices. Character assassination. If they can't shut you up legally, they'll try to ruin your credibility. This isn't new, it's an old tactic with a digital facelift. And there's a more insidious goal behind all of this: to stop people from sending tips. If whistleblowers, former employees, or insiders think their identities will be exposed, they'll stop coming forward. That's the true aim here. This campaign is designed not only to discredit journalists and content creators, but to sever the pipeline of truth. At its source, if they can terrify tipsters into silence, the stories dry up. The questions go unasked, the public remains uninformed. But here's the thing, they underestimated us. We're not just YouTubers or influencers. Many of us are trained journalists, media professionals, or researchers who believe in truth and accountability. We're not corporate machines, we're individuals who care deeply about transparency and justice. And when someone comes after our right to speak, we don't just give up, we double down. And yes, the legal games continue. Blake Lively's team recently filed a slew of new documents just before the 4th of July, a U.S. national holiday. The timing is no coincidence. This is exactly what they did before Christmas when they filed the CRD complaint, knowing full well the courts would be closed and responses would be delayed. It's a classic pressure tactic: flood the system when no one's looking. The goal is to overwhelm Baldoni's legal team and keep them scrambling. One of the latest motions involves extending the discovery deadline. Blake's lawyers claim they've received critical video evidence and need more time to review it. Over 50,000 hours of footage reportedly. That's an enormous volume of behind-the-scenes B-roll and on-set footage. It's difficult to imagine what they're looking for in that mountain of content. Perhaps something incriminating, perhaps nothing at all. But the real goal might not be discovery, it might be distraction. Bury the opposition in data, force them to spend more and hope they eventually fold.